Welcome to my world. I have such sights to show you. Yes, that's right. Today we are back at it again with the NECA Ultimate Action Figures. Today we are looking at this guy. And I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but I do not like the name Pinhead for this guy. Is it accurate to the character design? Yes. Has that basically become synonymous with this guy? Yes. But for me, when I hear Pinhead, I think of SpongeBob, okay? And this guy, to me, I don't like the name Pinhead, but I do like the name Cenobite. And so to me, I think of him as like the leader or lead Cenobite. That's what I call this guy. I don't call him Pinhead. I don't think that's an intimidating name, but nevertheless, that's who we're looking at today. We're looking at this guy. Here he is up against Marvel Select Spider-Man. Here he is with NECA's Ghostface, my first horror action figure. And then as far as how tall this guy actually is, let's find out together. So we're looking at, including the top of like every single one of those pins, we're looking at about 7.5 inches. And then if we flip that over to metric, we're looking at, let's say, about 19.5 centimeters. So here is the leader Cenobite, and I gotta say it looks super accurate, mainly based off of the first movie. And I know that that's the obvious pick of, like, what's the best Hellraiser movie? It's the first one. I have two movies. I kid you not. There are two Hellraiser movies that I like equally. And yes, the first one is one of them. So, yeah, I'm curious of, like, what is your favorite Hellraiser movie or Cenobite or, anything like that. But you definitely can't go wrong with the leader here. This is obviously based off of the Doug Bradley performance, and let's face it, Doug Bradley is definitely, when people think of this character, they think of his performance, and it does look very accurate. I like the details of, like, the blue around the eyes there, and then kind of like that black look for the eyes. So I like that. And then the pins, you might be wondering, are these actually like sharp, or are they hard or anything like that? They are firm enough plastic so that they're not going to bend all over the place, but they're not super pokey or pointy or anything like that. So you can touch these and be fine, but yeah, it definitely does look accurate. I do like the details of kind of the, I don't even know what these are, but like these marks and hooks and all of that into the back of his face here. And then you have this thing, whatever this thing is, like this lip that attaches to a collar, that attaches to some metal rods, I don't even know, that tie into like some leather and creases and all of that. And you got some more leather and stuff. And then if you go around to the front, then you can see kind of stuff of, like, a ripped open, parts of the chest, and then you got some like exposed muscle and and blood and staples and all of this. I mean, it's par for the course with Hellraiser, let's be honest here. And the hands look good. It does look accurate to the semi gloves that this version of the character had. I think that it looks accurate enough, and it does bring up, a good enough contrast, because the majority of this figure is just, black plastic. It's meant to look like, leather, which is, cool and all that, but, like, it's primarily black. So I like the details of, like, kind of like the white and then the like silver type thing for the face, and then you got like some red and some like flesh color stuff on there. So I do like that. And then yes, you might have noticed that the skirt piece here is actually a soft goods piece, and it is a little bit see-through, as you might be able to tell a little bit. It is a little bit see-through. It does have a wire, though, which I think is really cool. So it doesn't have, well, it actually does. So it doesn't have a wire on the front here, but it does have a wire on the bottom. And if you flip it around to the back, it actually has a wire that kind of goes like that. So you can really move this around however you want. And yeah, the details for the legs underneath, I mean, they are accurate. I do like that the sculpt actually continues, unlike with this Ghostface figure, where if you saw my review for that, you'd see that the detail just kind of stops when you go up the legs. But with these, you actually have like a full Cenobite type detail here. And I'm curious of, like, do you want to see NECA make other ultimate Cenobites, because I think that would be cool if we had like Chatterer and Angelique and, you know, all of them. I think that would be really cool, but they haven't yet. I know they made some Hellraiser stuff back in the day, but I think it would be cool if they tackled that nowadays. But regardless, that's about all that we got. I mean, one last thing to talk about, I guess, is this little like rope piece. You'll see what you can do with that, but you can actually put some of his accessories on there, which I think is pretty cool. And I guess one other, I said one more thing, and I got one more thing. I'm like Columbo over here. Shout out to anybody who knows who Columbo is, but yeah, so you do kind of have like some red. I don't know how well it's coming up on camera, but you can see it in person a lot better. Of like you got the black leather, but then you got like some red markings for like blood stains on the front of that. So that's pretty cool. And then as far as the articulation goes, it's a standard joint for the head. So you can look back about that far. You can look down like that. And then you do get some rotation, you get some attitude, so that's pretty good. For the arms, they are stiff joints, but they can rotate all the way around. Then you do also get some range going out to the side. You don't get the most amount of range. It is a very tight joint, so do be aware of that. But then again, this guy's not supposed to be doing a whole lot of, you know, like martial arts type stuff anyway. I am surprised, though, that he does not have a bicep joint. So that is just one piece that goes all the way through here. There is no bicep joint. I mean, the sculpt does look good, and like I say, it doesn't have to be super dynamic in terms of posing, but it is worth mentioning that. He does have the NECA style of double jointed elbow, and this one actually looks pretty good. It doesn't look all weird and stuff, so there you go. He can pose in two different directions there, and then you get a swivel, and then a little bit of a hinge for the wrist there. Looks like he's going like, stop. Beware the box. So anyway, so there's that. And then as far as the torso, you do get a swivel here, and you get kind of like a, you know, an ab crunch, or not really an ab crunch, but you know what I mean. It's a ball joint. And then if you use both of the joints, because there are two of them, it's just one of them is underneath whatever this is supposed to be. So if you use both of them, you can go back, or you can go forward like that, and you can go back basically not at all. So there you go. But you do get some, you know, rotation and adjustment and all of that. And then for the legs, like I said, this is a wire with this. So you can kind of pose this however you want. But if you look here, the legs, when I first got this figure out of the package, I didn't know if the legs could actually go out to the sides or not. But they can. They can go out just a little bit. They can go forward and back, though. So you get some really good range going forward and back. You don't get a thigh swivel. You get a single jointed knee, which gives you about 90 degrees, so that's pretty good. And then there's nothing for the, well, there is a little bit of a swivel here at the knee. And then the only other joint that this guy has is an ankle, and it can go back just a tiny bit. It can go forward just a little bit, and then it gets a little bit of a swivel, and that is it. So like I said, don't expect this guy to be super dynamic. I know that he's not supposed to be, but I am saying that anyway, of like, hey, just be aware this guy's not going to be doing any crazy martial arts stuff, which that's totally fine given the character. So there is that, and then let's talk about the accessories. The first thing that I feel like, you know, it's technically not an accessory, but it did come in the box, is this thing. Got some silica gel. And yes, this did actually come with the figure, and I just think it's funny that it says throw away, do not eat. So yeah, I will definitely be doing that, but I felt, you know, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention that. So let's get that out of there. He does have an alternate head, and it's him, you know, kind of angry or, you know, talking or whatever it might be, and it's kind of the same design, just with a different expression. And what I think is interesting is that the box, we'll talk about the box in more detail later, on the bottom of the box, it actually gives some instructions on how to swap out the head. So it is a pretty straightforward procedure, but I do appreciate the extra mile of explaining of like, yeah, don't cut yourself on these and don't break these off. Here's how you do it carefully. So there's that. You do get some alternate hands. So you get kind of like some gripping or style pose hands. These are the hands that came out in the package, but he does have some alternate hands here as I knock him over. He does have, they're not necessarily fist hands, but they're more like, like really closed, gripping hands. So there you go. Then you do get some gesture and, more open type hands. So there's that one. And then there's that one there. So there's that. And then, of course, this is Hellraiser we're talking about. What would this be without the box? So you get two versions of the Lament configuration. We'll talk about this one first, I guess. So I do like the details. As small as this is, they did, of course, bother to show all of the different sides of it, and it looks really good. So there you go. There's that. And then you also have it where it's opened up and it does the thing, unless we're talking about the reboot, because it basically just does one thing and all the other movies where it goes up, it turns, and that goes like that. So, yeah, it's not exactly much of a puzzle box, but that's what it does. And this alternate piece here does look good. And I do like the attention to detail of, if you want to look open, you can do that. So there you go. We just don't have any other figures. Like, where's a Kirsty Cotton or Riley from the reboot, or, like any of those other people. But anyway, and then this is what I was talking about with the belt. So, he does also have these things, and yeah, this is Hellraiser we're talking about, so getting things like this seems pretty standard stuff. So he does have this little sickle thing, whatever that's supposed to be. He does also have a hacksaw type thing that's got some nice dried blood on it. And then you do also get this knife, scalpel, whatever this is supposed to be. He does get that as well, and all of them have a small little metal hook. I think that is actual metal. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, those metal hooks, all of them have them. And what you could do if you want is you could take the string piece that he's got, and then you can just kind of hook them on there, and then there you go. Now he is ready to rock and roll and dish out some justice with what he's gonna do. Is gonna make sure that nobody crosses the Cenobites and he gets away unscathed, because that would be doing them a disservice of the ultimate pleasure and all of that. So there you go. That just kind of gives you an idea of how this guy can be decked out. I actually think he kind of looks good with that. So there you go. And then I guess the last thing to talk about is the box. So I did not the Lament configuration, but the package in which the figure came. So you get some nice artwork there. Got the kind of like the tagline for the movie, as well as "He'll tear your soul apart." So there you go. There's the bottom. We'll talk about that right now, I guess. So there you go, because you kind of already saw that. There's the top, pretty straightforward stuff. Just the name on that, and then on the back you get some pictures here, and then you get a little bit of a bio there, and then some some details on what is included. And then if you open this up, you get a nice picture of the figure there. Then you also get a nice, window case type thing with really cool, like, chain and lightning and all of that background. I think that's pretty cool. So, yeah, that just about covers it. And so, yeah. So if you enjoyed this figure, you like this review, you like the Hellraiser series, you like this character, whatever it might be, you can definitely leave a like. You can let me know in the comments what you think. Should NECA make some other figures based off of this series? Because I think that would be really cool if they were to do that. I don't know what all they plan to do, if they even want to do that or not, but I think it would be cool if they did. Especially if they did like a thing of like Frank and Julia, or, Kirsty, or whatever it might be. But yeah, you can let me know with that. If you want to see more content on this, you could definitely subscribe. Check out my other NECA playlist and, all of the other stuff that we got going on. But other than all that, I do hope that you enjoyed. I do hope that I'll see you all later.